Well, what do you guys think we're gonna get today? Buying a $900 car from a dealership. It's not this Ford Fusion behind me. Let's go see what we can get for $900. Well, Moose is ready to go. He's in our Jeep Liberty diesel. You ready, buddy? All right, let's go see what we can get. You gotta stay back up there a little bit. We got a trip of about 2 hours, about 121 miles. So hopefully we don't get there and waste 4 hours, but for the type of car it is and the price they're asking, I think we can make it a nice family car, and we'll see. All right, let's go. Well, we've gone about 70 miles, I would say, since we left the farm. In case you're wondering how the Jeep Liberty's doing, it's doing good, making its normal, really great fuel mileage. You know, it's been really cold here in the last few days, especially today. It's -3 right now, and it's about 12:30 in the afternoon. And we've got a part-time four-wheel drive light on the dash. That happened just a few days ago when we took a pretty long trip. It was about, I don't know, like 8 hours, 8.5 hours total. When I went to take it out of the all-time four-wheel drive, it landed right on a part-time indicator lights. These have a known issue where the fittings down below, or the plastic bushings, kind of tend to wear out right below your shifter for your two-wheel, four-wheel part, four-wheel full-time, and then neutral and four low. Going to the dealership to try to buy a $900 car off the lot. You know, I'm not exactly sure what to expect, because the salesman said that the car runs good, drives good. He'd recommend doing an oil change after we buy it, if we buy it. He said it's got some cosmetic stuff, but he said the driver's side seat had a little chunk out of it, but nothing too bad. And we got the picture from it because it wasn't on the advertisement, which I'll show you the ad here after we show you the car. I asked him for a picture of it. I said, I asked him for a picture of it, and he sent it over to me, and it's like the whole butt is ripped out. So it's not just a little chunk. The foam looks good, but the cover's tore up, which is fine. We're not going to put an aftermarket cover on it, probably. I'm probably just going to either have it recovered with our upholstery shop, about 30 miles from us, probably about maybe $100 to $150 to do that. Or we're just going to buy an OEM cover, depending on how much that would cost, and we'll just put it on ourselves. That'll be okay. We can make a video of that, I guess, if we needed to, if we end up doing that. The next thing is, he said that you could only see one side of the car, and he said that the front bumper has a crack in it. And I said, okay, well, that's fine, I can fix that. I can do the body work on that, just mend it, sand it, prime it, paint it. But I said, is it a crack or is there a chunk missing? And he said, oh, it's a chunk missing. I said, okay. And I said, could you just send me a picture of that just so I see it before I drive over 2 hours to look at it? And he said, yeah, you bet. And this guy's a really nice guy. Called me right when I sent a message on the ad. And when I got the picture, it is like probably about 20% of the bumper missing on the front passenger side. It's just the bumper cover from the looks of it. Might need to get a new bumper cover mount on the side. I think those are going to be about $30-$40 on Amazon or eBay, or perhaps even on a parts store online. So no big deal. But my wife's and I concern is, if the front bumper had just a crack in it, by their opinion or definition of a crack, and if the seat just had a little chunk out of it, but it's got the whole butt missing, where your butt sits, then how good does the motor run? And how good does the car drive? How terrible are the tires on it? And how many codes does this thing have? And I forgot our code reader at home. So, whoops, what do you do? We're just gonna go down there, we're gonna go by feel and sight, and I plan on, right now it's -5, drop down 2 more degrees. I told him, please don't start up the car before I get there. I want it to be sitting stone cold. I want to hear it fire up in this cold weather. And I'm going to let it go through the warm-up process. Probably let it warm up at least 7 minutes, and maybe 10. And we're going to see how it sounds from the start. Obviously, it's going to sound a little rough from starting off cold like this, -5, if they haven't started it up. But I want to see how it's doing after it warms up. And then I'm going to take it down the highway, get up to highway speed, 65. See if it's going smooth down the road, or if the tires haven't been balanced in 2 years, or if it's way out of alignment. Perhaps it's got 1 or 2 wheel bearings going out. We don't know. It's $900 is what they're listing it for. They were listing it for more than that. They were listing it for, let's see, what was it? They were listing it for $1,900, and it's just been sitting there and hasn't moved. And in that $1,900 listing, they actually showed the seat wear, and they had a picture of the bumper side that was missing as well. And I suppose that scared off pretty much everybody that would have been interested in it. But for us, it's no big deal. We already priced out a bumper cover. We can paint it ourselves. We can get some match paint for it. Not a big deal there. And I think we can make it look decent. We just need it to run and drive good. Now, I don't know if this car has a timing belt. I don't know if it has a timing chain. That's one of the things that you always got to pay attention to. Should probably look at that before we go purchase the car, but I haven't. If it's got a timing chain, I'm not going to worry about it. If it's got a timing belt, we're going to have to see if we can run Carfax on it, which we can. See when the last time it was changed, and if we don't see it being changed the last time, then we're probably going to want to change that ourselves. Especially if we're planning on using this as a family car. I don't want to drive anything that we can't trust. It gets so cold out here, and who wants to be stranded anywhere? So I will tell you, this car is a baby blue color, not the typical color that I've owned or my wife's owned. So it will be different for us. But I will say also that it is a limited, and it's the highest trim level of this make and model year. So that's kind of exciting. The interior just looks a little dirty. Looks like it needs to be detailed. What can you get for $900 from the dealership? Now, they took the pictures of this car, I could tell, on the main lot, and today, this morning, when I said I'm going to be coming down, he messaged me and he said, hey, by the way, we're in the bargain lot. Surprisingly, a $900 car is actually on the bargain lot instead of them just sending it to an auction. You know, if we buy it, we'll find out together if it makes it 121 miles back home without any issues. And it's freezing out, so I hope the heater works good. I don't want to smell any antifreeze leak. Literally, just a minor thing or two will make me pass this deal up. We've got that Fusion sitting at home in the shop. It's going to be worked on real soon. That one's got ABS light on and brake light on, probably for the same issue. Speed sensor, it's got 4 speed sensors on that, so it's not far away from being ready to go. We've got plugs, and we've got the valve cover gaskets, and we've got a new battery for it that we just bought. Anyways, we'll get back to it. I'm going to talk to you guys probably after I talk with the salesman, and I might bring my phone with me and I'll have it with on the test drive so we can see what happens. All right, see you shortly. Well, it's just been a minute for you guys, but it's been about 3 days for us. We ended up buying the $900 cheapest car at the Ford dealership, and it ran and drove. Had some issues, had some pros, had some cons, and we are going to go pick it up tonight.
We're gamblers.
Yep. Is it gonna make it home, do you think?
Yeah.
It's got a pretty heavy misfire, but only at certain speeds, so certain RPMs, I guess. But we are gamblers tonight on this, so it's 14 degrees right now. When I was heading there, it was -6. Car started up and it ran without any knocking, so that was encouraging. It's really clean on the underneath. Interior is clean, but it's got some rips in the seats. It's got a few things that need to be taken care of. Outside is kind of the bad part of this car, where it's got some rust on the back fenders, but it was $900. It's not terrible rust, nothing that we haven't repaired before, and it's looked nice, so I think good thoughts for us. We're gonna roll down. You get to see a little bit of scenery along the way, and then we'll show you the car when we get there. We'll start it up. Let us know what you think of it. All right, well, we made it. So here's what you get for $900. We're gonna take a look at this. Mama Bear is gonna start it up, and we're gonna see how it runs after it's been sitting for a few days.
Start right up.
That's a good sign. Let's see, we got an engine light on. These 2 tires out here are pretty low, so we're gonna go fill them up with air.
Needs an oil change.
Needs an oil change, 2% oil life left.
Sounds good.
Sounds good, doesn't it? Impressive. For $900. Look at the back here real quick. There you go. What do you think about it?
For $900, I don't think you can go wrong.
Can't go wrong for $900.
No.
That's what we like to hear. Let's check out the trunk here. Where is the trunk? Here's the trunk. Button works. See, we're missing the trim right down here. It goes around the window, seals it up. $900 car, 209,000 miles on it, and you can see the inside is pretty much untouched. Rip right down there in the seat. It's a big one. There's another rip over in the passenger seat. Otherwise, this thing looks pretty clean. All the windows work. Can't go wrong there. I don't know. It's got some rust here. See, that tire's a little flat. Got some rust down there. Up here they had the mud flap, so that's nice. Front end took a hit, which we'll show you. You can see it tore up the fender splash guard there. Tore up the bumper a little bit. We're going to order a new one of those. Lights work. Good thing about this is we still have the bracket, but it looks like it is broken, so I might have to order that. Probably will, of course. The bumper down here is broken, but it looks pretty good. Gonna end up probably having to source a rim, but not right away. You can drive it like that. Tires seem like they're right at the wear point where they need to be replaced. Probably, oh, I don't know, I'd say 30 seconds. This one's probably a little better, but we'll check that all out when we get it back in the garage. Got some bubbling happening right there. No E85. Tail lights work. The trunk, we've got the trim. Wowzers, this is nice and clean for $900. Got the code right here since it's limited. Get a good look at the gauges right there. I did not have the code reader when I came to look at it. That is an important part that I needed to remember, but I forgot. Let's pop the hood, take a look at it. Roll that down so we don't accidentally lock ourselves out. And look at how clean that motor is. Now obviously they just detailed it. It does have a misfire. Here's your first 3 plugs and coils. But if I want to get to those 3, I'm sorry, what is it? I think this is 3 over here. You can feel it misfiring just by touching on it every once in a while here. As it warms up, it gets a little worse maybe. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I don't think it goes in that order. But you got to take this plastic intake off, and then you can get around to the coils, which are right under here. But all in all, for $900, I mean, it's looking pretty good. Just kind of give you a look around. Definitely tell it's got a misfire when it's idling and when you're in a certain RPM range or a certain amount into the throttle. But I got to tell you, so far, you just can't get a vehicle for $1,000 anymore that's anything good. I mean, this is running and driving. What surprises are we gonna find? We still gotta grab the code reader and put it on, but we're gonna get up here to a gas station so we can put some air in. Checked with them and they said they have a compressor. Gotta get the mirrors adjusted. Julie's behind us right now. Nothing ripped out of it. We'll find surprises as we go. Steering wheel's even in good shape for 211,000 miles. Got your last oil change up here in November at Valvoline. November 18th of 2021. And that was at 211,577. So thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you stick around and see how this turns out for us. All right, let's see if this cheap car, cheapest one on the lot, can make it all the way home. So as you can see, we're going about 65 and it's as smooth as can be. It's driving straight down the road. Heat's holding right in there, perfect. RPMs look good. 2% on oil change life, great. everything's good except if I get about 30% into the throttle, the check engine light starts flashing on me, indicating a very significant misfire. We will take it for that. See what happens when we get home. Coming up on a hill just a little bit here, and when we do that, it puts a little more load on the car. We're just gonna go about 65. I'm gonna try to set the cruise, and we're gonna see what happens. Cruise is set. $65, $70 is about the best I got. I'm gonna say more like 65. The cruise is on. We've got a hill coming up here, so we'll see how it does. See if it starts misfiring or not. Yeah, it sure does. I got to take the cruise off actually so I can guide it through this. All right, we'll keep cruising. Little update for you. We're climbing a hill right now. Turn our brights on there. We're about 45 miles an hour. And this is a pretty decent sized hill and it's pretty lengthy. So we are just creeping along. Hope we don't find anything that's too hard to overcome. But I don't think we will. Just got to get over this hump. And any humps to come, I guess. Still running smooth when it's not misfiring. I know that is a Captain Obvious statement, but the point is there's no knocking. Doesn't seem like a timing issue. So two good things right there. Well, I tell you what, we made it all the way back home with a $900 Ford Taurus. The only issue we had the whole way was that misfire. And we're gonna go ahead and review the codes real quick, but we're gonna do that in the next video. So, here it is, the $900 Ford Taurus. In the next video coming up, which we're gonna get out right away, we're gonna go ahead and try to resolve all the codes that this is having. Then with that, we're gonna put some new oil in it. We're gonna put AMSOIL, full synthetic in this, because we do want it to last a long time. 212,000 miles. Had 211, rolled over to 212. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night, whatever it might be. If you want to, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us over on Instagram. We're just a little DIY operation here, little family, but we enjoy doing what we do. Have a good time. We'll see you next one. Bye-bye.